fellow collectors. I'm Anthony with Anthony's Comic Book Art and the Dueling Jews of Comic Book Art. We are here live in East Long Island, Ronkonkoma, with the Phil of the Russert, who produced a very art-centric comic book show for us to come out and do and try to make some customers. Thank you, Phil, for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for wearing the Comic Book Art the t-shirt.
Do I do this too?
Yes, you must do it. Must do it. All right, so tell us about yourself, Phil.
Well, I'm a show promoter. I do stuff at Comic and Art Expo, where the celebrities are the comic creators. I have a lot of big names always showing up: Jim Steranko, Adam Kubert, and Scott Williams, Alex Sinclair, Mark Bagley. I get a lot of guys that you don't see on the East Coast usually. And I try to keep a low door because I appreciate artists and I like to support them, and I love comics and I love published art and what you do. So yeah, man, it's a celebration of artists and creators and the comics that we love.
So now we're here with Scott Hanna. Hanna! Oh my God. Do you have the Guinness Book of World Record for the most pages worked on?
I should, yes, but it's not official. But yes, supposedly I have done far more pages than anybody else in the history of American comics, at least for Marvel and DC.
That's so cool. I mean,
so yeah, my estimate is it ranges anywhere from like 21,000 to about, I think it's closer to 23,000 right now. So I draw way too much.
Well, you can go on Grand Comics database and just search inker, and they do give a lineup of everything that somebody does.
It goes on and on and on. When it comes to
how many pages did you have in that? Yeah, that's cool. Now you have something going on with your friend Khoi Pham. Yes, here as well.
So Khoi and I are working on a milestone project for DC. It's a creator-owned project that we're basically starting brand new characters that have never existed before, but it's being folded into the DC universe in general. So hopefully it's one of those things that, 5 or 10 years from now, they're going to do a big crossover and our characters are going to be in those stories that we got to invent. And it's one of the very few times in my career I've got to work from the ground up of like helping invent the characters. Khoi's actually doing all the hard work. He's doing the heavy lifting of designing brand new characters that didn't exist before, the villains, the good guys, the bad guys.
Awesome.
Greg Pak is the writer, doing a phenomenal job.
If you need a model for a bad guy, I'm always available.
Right.
Some kind of, Sopranos type guy, So we're back here with Khoi Pham and Scott Hanna to talk about their new project called Duo.
Correct.
Oh my God.
You got it right.
Duo, yes.
The writer we're working with is Greg Pak.
Yep.
Who's a very seasoned veteran in comics, really knows his stuff. He and we are getting to create brand new characters that have never existed before. And we have to talk about them without talking about them.
Without spoiling, right. It's an art form now. So it's called Duo, right? So it features what Anthony was saying. It's a married couple. So we have a Korean American and a Vietnamese American. Greg is Korean American. I'm Vietnamese American. Right. So I think it was Greg's idea.
Well, who's the wife?
Married. Well, I would be the wife in this scenario. Right. So it's really interesting. So it's it kind of reminds me of Fantastic Four, but like the husband-wife dynamic in terms of how they superhero together. So it's a really interesting story. It's a lot of fun to work on. We have Chris Sotomayor doing the colors.
Who's doing a phenomenal job. I've worked with him many times before. Always happy with his work. Yeah,
and I've worked with Scott before in Teen Titans, so it was natural. It was an awesome fit. So it was awesome to continue on with this stuff here.
Yeah, I was mentioning to Khoi earlier that he gives me everything I need, but it still allows me to kind of play with it and run with it a little bit if I want to.
Yeah.
And it's really enjoyable when I get that kind of confidence in each other that you're just like you. And the same thing with Chris. I know that when I'm done with it, Chris is going to take it to that next level. So we're all building on each other to come out with this fantastic end product, which eventually you guys will see.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it does look really good. It's well written, well drawn. Just really cool characters, and we're going in really interesting directions. So when you've been in the business as long as I have, to still get enthused and say, oh, what's going to happen next? And I can't wait till the next script. What are we going to? And that's a good sign for, especially for me. But it's, you know, that I think that's a good sign for the fans. It's like, hey, if you can enthuse a hardcore old timer like me and still get us excited, I know that the new readers are going to be just as excited.
Yeah, we're talking like we already know the book because we're 5 issues in already.
Exactly.
So we know the story.
Yeah, it hasn't been released yet, but we've been dealing with these characters for quite some time.
100 pages.
And they're doing that on purpose so that, you know, it's when it comes out, they know basically we got a whole graphic novel already done, you know.
Yeah, because
and the first big story arc is basically
So we can confidently say, and when I got the gig, I'd worked with Greg on Hercules before, so obviously fantastic writer.
Right.
But the idea of like felt a little pandering, felt a little, you know, like just the zeitgeist of the PC movement, and it's like okay, all right, but it's actually.
A good
like
story.
it's like I could see these superheroes continuing on and being something. It's really cool.
It's literally, to me, again, it's one of those things that I think will still be around 20 years from now. You know, and still have an influence and an impact.
Yeah.
And that's one of the magic things. Now, you don't know for sure. We could be like zombies that we forgot about.
Right.
But I think we have that potential, and I think we're living up to that potential to make
for sure
something that will be a DC part of the DC universe from here on out.
Yeah, what's great about the story is that it just happens to be Asian American.
Right. Yeah.
That's really good because it's not like I get the Shang-Chi story and all that stuff, and it's like okay, yes, very Asian, I get it.
Right.
But these characters just happen to be, so they really do stand alone as just heroes.
Correct.
So I think that really shows.
I think that's I've worked with many diverse creators and characters over the years. A good story is a good story.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't care who you have as the lead or whatever, just make it a good story. And again, Greg's a really seasoned guy. He knows his stuff. So this is a good story. It's a great origin story, great new character. And again, we're introducing all these new cast of villains and going in all these interesting. We were talking before, it's a mix of horror and sci-fi and
a little romance in there too, right?
Oh, definitely,
bit, right?
yes. There's some very cool, again, relationship stuff, which is great. So yeah, I'm really
But you were
excited.
touching on it. It's fun being able to just invent these heroes.
Right.
So this is like DC canon. We're like inventing heroes, inventing villains, right? And then it's like it's very possible that any one of these can end up somewhere else in the DC.
Crossing over into the general universe.
Right. Also, that
not just the Milestone imprint, but into DC canon.
This is a weird analogy, but when Kirby came in and created the new universe, the new gods characters and stuff, he created Darkseid. You know, it's like, and look where that went. You know, that became the major character. Now, I don't know if we'll have that kind of impact, but there's a potential there, and
it was called Fourth World. It was an alternate thing, and the only thing that was really crossing over was Jimmy Olsen and Superman.
Right.
That was the bridge.
Exactly.
You know, and you know, they've become a part of the DCU, and you know, and with the ever blossoming Asian American market. You know, you see the rise of K-pop in America and the world. You know, you have this market that is developing, much like when Marvel, you know, hired black artists to do black characters back in the day, and Luke Cage, Billy Graham, and Ron Wilson, you know, and doing Master of Kung Fu and the like. They were trying to build that market.
I'm an honorary part of the team because I have Asians. Sister-in-laws and nieces.
By marriage? Come on.
But not quite the same. So.
Well, it's great talking to you guys. I love your enthusiasm about this, and it seems like it's, you know, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope it has legs.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good
Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining us.